medicos. In this video we are going to study about the erythroblastosis fetalis. I know that you heard this term before, but we are going to explore this term in this video more effectively. So what is the competency for the today's video? List the physiological basis of the symptoms and treatment of the RH incompatibility, and that includes, for the example, erythroblastosis fetalis. First, what is RH incompatibility and when it happens? It occurs only when you give RH positive blood to the RH negative individual. You can also say when an RH negative individual receives the RH positive blood. So firstly we will go with the antibodies. RH antibody, you can call it as anti-D antibody, because you know that there are 6 antigens for RH blood group, but among them is D is the most immunologically active antigen, and so the subsequently the anti-D antibody that will be immunologically active against this antigen, and we will consider only this for the RH blood group system. As already mentioned, it is produced only when RH negative individual receives the RH positive blood, because this is not naturally occurring antibody. It requires the prior exposure. So when you give the antigen, that is when you transfuse the RH positive blood to the individual, then only the antibodies will be produced. First and foremost, you need to know that this is of the IgG variety. In ABO system they were of IgM, but this is of IgG variety, so it can cross the placenta. You can see these IgG antibodies here, these are anti-D antibodies. These can cross the placenta and reach the fetal circulation, and you can call them as warm antibodies because their best reactivity is at the body temperature. What is RH incompatibility? As we know, when we give the when RH negative individual does not normally has the anti-RH antibody, so there is no immediate reaction when they receive RH positive blood for the first time. Before that, what is RH incompatibility? This sentence is not mentioned about that. It is very simple. RH positive, that is antigen is present. When you transfuse this antigen to the person who is having antibody against this antigen, there occurs the RH incompatibility. It is nothing but the complications of the blood transfusion, right? So it is mismatched blood transfusion for a reason. When there is exposure of the antigen, that causes the immune response, and it takes around 2 to 4 months to reach the significant titer. As we know, there is primary response of the immune system to the antigen that is presenting for the first time. It takes around 2 to 4 months. It takes around 2 to 4 months. But by the time they produce significant titer, means about significant antibodies in the blood, the RBCs of the donor will be dead. Why? Because the normal lifespan of the RBC is around 120 days. You can take it as 4 months, right? So by the time the immune of the recipient to produce the significant titer of the antibodies, the RBCs of the donor is dead. Okay, this is what I mentioned about. When the same person receives the RH positive blood later, it results in mismatched transfusion. Why? As we know, the immune system has the memory now, so it can produce antibodies within days. So there occurs the mismatched transfusion because immunological reaction is happening. so that you need to know that before transfusing the blood, you need a proper history, whether the person received Rh positive blood. If he is Rh negative, then you need to verify whether he received any Rh positive blood earlier or not, because that may be fatal sometimes. By this we can conclude that Rh negative individual can safely receive Rh positive blood once in his lifetime or in her lifetime. And we will move to the erythroblastosis fetalis, that is our interest of this video. Okay, this is an hemolytic disease of the newborn that is happening due to the Rh incompatibility. So we know that what is Rh incompatibility, right? So we will move to the etiopathogenesis, how it is happening. There is no reaction in post pregnancy because the antibodies are not present within the Rh negative mother, and you need to know that this happens only if the Rh negative mother and the Rh positive fetus. It can only happen in this condition, right? Okay, at the time of delivery, at the time of parturition, there during the placental separation, there is small amount of fetal blood that leaks to the maternal circulation. So this fetal blood is leaked to the maternal circulation. So now there is antigen in the maternal circulation. This antigen induces the immune responses, and there will be antibodies against this antigen. When there is subsequent pregnancies, as we know, this is primary response, primary reaction, that is first time the antigen is presented to the mother's blood. In subsequent pregnancies, as we know, this IgG antibody, that is Rh antibody, anti-Rh antibody, you can say either the way. Okay, it can cross the placenta, it can reach the fetal circulation. Once it reaches the fetal circulation, obviously there occurs the hemolysis due to immunological reaction. So what are the symptoms of the erythroblastosis fetalis? Firstly, the anemia, and this is proportionate to the degree of the hemolysis. When there is greater amount of the hemolysis, greater the anemia. And hemolytic jaundice, as you know, when there is rupture of the RBC, there releases the hemoglobin that is metabolized to the bilirubin, and this bilirubin may be more than 25 mg% in the severe cases. Generalized edema in erythroblastosis fetalis, that is due to the anemia and the hypoproteinemia. As you know, when there is reduced amount of the protein in the blood or the plasma, there reduces the colloidal oncotic pressure. The reduced colloidal oncotic pressure, then the plasma moves out from the blood compartment, causing the edema. And this condition is called as hydrops fetalis. My final examiner asked this question. I couldn't able to answer that, hydrops fetalis. So you can answer now. And it can also cause the kernicterus. So this is also a symptom due to the deposition of the bilirubin in the basal ganglia, because basal ganglia has the higher affinity for this bilirubin. Why it is going to deposit in the basal ganglia? Because this bilirubin can reach the basal ganglia, because blood brain barrier is not well developed in the newborns or the fetus, and this can cause the neurological symptoms with some major motor deficits and extramedullary hematopoiesis. As you know, there is greater amount of the hemolysis. The medullary cavity is not sufficient to produce the blood, that is RBCs. So there occurs the extramedullary hematopoiesis. When there is severe anemia, extramedullary hematopoiesis occurs, erythroblasts are released into the blood. This is very important. You can see the erythroblasts, these are the precursors of the RBC. Erythroblasts are nothing but precursors of RBC, and hence the name, the erythroblastosis fetalis. What is the treatment for this erythroblastosis fetalis? You can transfuse the blood in intrauterine when you diagnose it to be a severe in fetus, and this is carried out by the intraperitoneal route. And exchange transfusion, you are going to exchange the blood of the baby, that is newborn, with another blood, and this is treatment for the newborn with severe anemia, jaundice and the hydrops fetalis. And the exchange transfusion removes the sensitized RBC bilirubin and the maternal antibody from the plasma of the fetus, the plasma of the newborn. And this the choice of the blood is ABO negative and the RH negative, and it should be cross matched against the mother's blood. And we can also give the phototherapy. What happens is that, as we know, there is excess of the bilirubin in the blood. When you expose the light of certain wavelength, there occurs the structural and the configurational isomerization and photooxidation, and this bilirubin is converted to different intermediates, and then it is finally metabolized into the lumirubin, which is non-toxic, and it can also be excreted in the urine. So the bilirubin level is getting reduced from the blood. As we know, this RH incompatibility happens, we need to prevent this. We can do this by administering the single dose of anti-RH antibodies in the form of RH immunoglobulin during the postpartum period following the first delivery. When there is delivery happens, at that time we will give anti-RH antibodies. As soon as the antigen is getting exposed in the mother's blood, these will cause the reaction, and these antigens are going to be destroyed. If they are getting destroyed earlier, then there won't be any production of the antibodies due to the memory. So this will be helpful, and it can also be prevented by passive immunization of the mother with a small dose of RH immunoglobulins during their pregnancy. And this is again the same method. Here we are giving after postpartum, that is after delivery or the postpartum, and we are giving here during pregnancy. This was all about erythroblastosis fetalis, and if you have any doubt, please drop down them in the comment box, and stay healthy, study well. See you soon.